Down to the final four teams in the NFL playoffs. And of course, I'm not going out on a limb saying that the Commanders are the biggest surprise out of these last four teams that are there. But it may surprise you that as somebody that's been as jaded as I've been, what I've now learned is that this Commanders team I'm going to say it, can win the Super Bowl and pull off an improbable run if their defense can play at that elite level that it did against Detroit. What you're getting here is everybody maximizing their abilities, and you give the coaching staff credit. You give everybody on the field credit, too. They had 17 turnovers the entire regular season. The defense was a liability. They've had 6 in the playoffs, 5. They generated 5 turnovers against Detroit. If you can do that against Philadelphia, and then, of course, whoever else you play in the Super Bowl to make this run happen, they can absolutely win the Super Bowl because we know what the offense can do. We know what Jaden Daniels can do specifically. But if you're then doing it on both sides of the football, those extra possessions, that elite level, you have to play at an absolute elite level. You're going to squeeze every little bit of juice out of this defense. What they did against Detroit, if you can carry that over the next couple of games, this Commanders team, which has laughed in the face of adversity and being an underdog this entire year, yes, they can win the Super Bowl playing that way. On to number 2, and that's going to be the Bills, right? The Bills learning how to win close playoff games. This is a team in the past that struggled in really the playoffs to finish anything tight. They've lost in the divisional round the last 3 years. They now see a Chiefs team. They're 1.5-point dogs against the arch nemesis, right? They've lost to them in all 3 playoff matchups since 2020. But you've gained this experience, and when you see the Bills gaining the experience that they have against a Chiefs team that has just owned them in the playoffs, sometimes you do break through that wall. We saw Peyton Manning do it eventually against Tom Brady. This is a chance this year for the Bills and where this team is and the elite level that they're playing to break through that Kansas City Chiefs team. But come on, we know this. It's just not going to be easy because the Chiefs just feel inevitable, right? And then again, that's going to move to number 3 here, where Travis Kelce, playoff Travis Kelce, is being undervalued by the market. I think his receiving yards maxed up at about 53 and a half before last game. He's up to 68 and a half right now. Had 117 against the Texans. I get it. It was the Texans defense. It's why the number was a little bit lower. It's not about the regular season. It's about the playoffs for him. He's averaged at least 85 receiving yards in every playoff run since 2020. He had 8 targets last week, 117 yards. He's getting the targets, getting the opportunities. Travis Kelce, I love the over on his receiving yards, and you just continue to see that undervalue in what could be another great playoff run for the Chiefs and for Kelce.